there everyone, good morning and welcome to Market Fatafat right here on ET Now. The markets are looking a little bit tempered at this juncture, 10,400, and the broader end of the market, mind you, is managing to hold out quite smartly in the green. We have a whole host of stocks coming your way that we will be introducing, and of course we will be getting you a technical take as well. But first, let's keep it with commodities, and the commodity burst has officially kicked off. So let's find out what's exactly brewing in Gold Bazaar. This is a conversation that we had with the TBZ head of marketing, Abhishek Malu, with my colleague Mubina Kapasi.
You know, Indians love gold jewelry, and I don't think it's just a rational purchase. It is something that they love, and there's an emotional connect to it. So at least what we are seeing right now is that there's a lot of excitement in the market. We've of course come up with the new collections, and we've just launched our big promotions for the festive season yesterday, and so far feedback has been good. Customers have accepted what our offerings, and I don't particularly see any reason to be downbeat. So so far it looks like so far so good.
So would you believe that gold prices, I mean, like I said, you know, in India they have risen. Do you see any sort of hesitation on the part of consumers before they are making especially big ticket purchases, which naturally would result in a higher value? So on an average, do you believe there's any part of hesitation, or you've heard customers perhaps murmur about the higher gold prices, or still, like you said, it's more about culture, it's more about tradition? So, you know, sometimes money matters are kept behind by Indians.
So there's two levels to this. The primary thing, of course, is that a lot of gold and jewelry buying per se in India is also driven by occasion. So if you have an occasion coming up, there is a need to buy. The other thing is that, like I was telling you, during this season you do have a lot of promotions. We have a very exciting promotion, and it is quite significantly of value to customers. So, you know, when you look at the fact that you're getting some respite from whatever is your value equation by virtue of being part of the promotion, it sort of sets off that whole gold price thing. So I don't think it's that much of an issue. Yes, for someone who's purely buying for investment, maybe, but that's a very small portion of the kind of consumers who turn up at the stores. I think it's more to do with the product, designs and all of that, which then, you know, the gold price is sort of not the deciding factor.
Yeah. You know, you mentioned occasion, and I think a lot of your peers have been saying that there is a lack of wedding dates this season. When I say wedding dates, I mean auspicious wedding dates. I know it's early days yet because Shraddh has just literally gotten over about 2-3 days ago. But is that a sense you're getting from customers?
So see, what we've been noticing over the last few years is that wedding buying is sort of getting agglomerated during the festive period, and not necessarily waiting for the right time to buy, because they think that consumers tend to believe that the best products and the best promotions are all during the festive period. So I don't think the fact that you're right that technically the wedding dates this year are much lesser, but has it impacted buying? Not necessarily.
Talking about the festive buzz that we're seeing in the world of commodities, that is the management of TBZ. But right back to equity markets, and we've got a list of stocks coming your way. Our team of research analysts are with us. Sameet Chavan and Kunal Bothra on the technicals. Let's start off with the first stock, and that no doubt is HUL. It's been broad-based growth, Mubina, that we've seen. What's the brokerage verdict?
Well, mixed reactions really coming in for an HUL. We have Goldman Sachs, in fact, which actually has a sell stance on HUL, and they believe that the company has, well, we do know that the stock price has ran up quite a bit, especially after delivered a stellar first quarter number. Now it's a bit under pressure despite a steady Q2. But while Goldman Sachs has a sell rating, we do have other brokerage houses like Morgan Stanley, Macquarie that do have an outperform rating that has been maintained on the company. There is a fear about margins, however, coming under pressure going forward.
All right, watch out for HUL. A mixed verdict coming in from the brokerages. 1500 is where it's at. PFC, meantime, and Kunal, give us your view as to where the stock is headed.
The last couple of weeks have been quite positive for PFC. It's managing to gain traction once again. Volumes today are slightly on the higher side so far for PFC, but I believe that the bigger part of the technical outlook is more of a bullish RSI divergence setup, and that too on the weekly charts. I believe on a positional basis the stock should head towards at least an 88-90 mark, and I think from a positional play, traders should try and focus into this stock as well. Stop loss to be kept at 76.5 for PFC at current levels.
All right, that's a stock to keep on your radar. PFC in focus. Meantime, Karunya, it's clearly some fundraising plans. What's going on with InfoEdge?
Well, InfoEdge clearly buzzing in trade, Avan, on back of the fact that Zomato, in its second round of fund infusion, has raised about $210 million, which is almost 1,500 crore rupees. And this is from Alibaba Group's payment affiliate, which is Alipay. They also said that after the deal closes, its stake in the food tech company, which is Zomato, like I said, will fall to 27.68% from 30.91%, which was at the end of the previous fiscal year. So clearly they are, selling a bit of their stake in order to raise that huge amount of 1,500 crores.
And that sure is boding well. The company is seeing, the stock rather, is seeing quite smart gains in trade today, 2.7%. Well, let's move on then and find out what the news is when it comes to Dr. Reddy's. In fact, they've decided to sell their API manufacturing facility that's located in Hyderabad. And this is a joint venture between Omnicare Drugs, a wholly owned subsidiary of Abu Dhabi, based Neo Pharma LLC, as well as Laxai Life Sciences. In fact, they had announced entering a definitive agreement for the sale of this unit. So clearly, this is going to be a key factor to watch out for. Dr. Reddy's 3.6%. Moving right on then to number 5, Exide Industries. In fact, we're seeing quite a bit of fervor in this stock. Siddharth, what's the observation?
Well, observations are positive. Firstly, if you draw a trend line connecting the recent highs, then certainly Exide Industries breaching that downward trend line. That's from the technical perspective. From futures perspective, there's huge pile-up of positions in future segment, which means these are long formation. Why? Because stock prices are moving higher. And also, if you look at volumes in both the segments, that is cash and futures, are high. All in all, technicals and derivatives data is suggesting that this is long formation which is taking place, and stock is having positive observations.
All right, that's the view coming in on Exide Industries. But let's take a quick detour. We have the MCS Secretary talking about the IL&FS crisis. Let's cut across.
There's been good progress made by the board, which has been inducted by the government, and they are doing taking every possible measure to see that there's no contagion effect. And I think now the steps taken to form a core committee and also to take management control of the subsidiaries is a step in the right direction.
Okay. So initially when the takeover happened on that day, there was a sense that the government had said that the short-term debt obligations will be met. Since then, the companies and its subsidiary has continued to default on loans. Is there a sense from the government that maybe there'll be a short-term liquidity infusion in the company?
See, if you have followed the developments, we had prayed for a moratorium, yes, which was not accepted by the NCLT bench in Mumbai. Yes. We moved for appeal in NCLT, and they have stayed the Mumbai NCLT order, and they have allowed all our prayers as an interim measure until next hearing in November.
Okay. So there was also some expectation about a possible action on the exited board, which was sent on leave, as in the older board, which was dissolved. There's an SFIO investigation which is going on right now. Is there an update on that? What possible action?
No, I can hardly give any update on the SFIO investigation. So the investigation is on. And if any director of the erstwhile board is not found fit and proper, whatever logical consequences would follow.
So there are three listed companies also. So will you refer this case to SEBI also for the investigation? They are three listed companies.
Merely because they are listed, they are not outside the remit of SFIO. Wherever it is necessary to refer to SEBI, that shall be done.
So just to be clear, are you mentioning the NCLT 12th of October order that the MCA has appealed and gotten an interim relief from the NCLT?
Yeah, that has been stayed, and all prayers made by the government
So there is a
have been allowed.
on IL&FS
Yes.
for the next
Yes.
90 days?
Not 90 days, as an interim measure till the next hearing in November, I think 13 November.
Thank you, sir. All right, there you have the MCA Secretary giving us some more details with respect to the IL&FS crisis. There is going to be steps taken in order to curb a contagion, and the board is looking into all of that. An anti-fraud body as well is probing the erstwhile IL&FS board. That's the word coming in. Well, let's move right on then and get right back to market Fatafat. Samit Chavan has flagged off United Spirits. In fact, in his view, is that the stock has rebounded from the major supports, and on the cards you could see a potential recovery as well kick in. In fact, he's fairly optimistic on the prospects of United Spirits. The stock as we speak is currently quoting at 539, up about 3.5%. Sure is buzzing in trade today. At number 7, Mubina, let's also talk about the demerger roadmap for CESC.
Well, yes, that's the big news maker. We've had brokerage recommendations as well coming in. Yes, in a way, it is making progress when it comes to the demerger. It's been a tweak in the earlier planned demerger of CESC. So earlier the plan was to demerge it into 4 separate companies. Now it's going to demerge it only into 3 separate companies. The power arm will remain under CESC, and the record date for the same is 31st October. Do remember for the additional news why there is a change in the demerger. Firstly, because CESC did not get the approval from the electricity regulator. There was approval which was required for a PPA between power generation and distribution business. And there's an urgency because there is a speculation. Reports have been suggesting that even Alibaba is in talks to buy a minority stake in Spencer's Retail, and hence things need to move forward when it comes to the demerger. Stock is higher by 1%.
Okay, that's a stock to keep on your radar. Tell you what, let's take a quick break right here on the show. Come right back. The countdown continues. Welcome back. This is Market Fatafat. We have our team of research analysts and technical guests standing by as we speak. The status on the markets is pretty much the same, down 0.5% on the frontliners, and the broader end of the market is only gaining traction as we speak. Well, let's move on then to stock number 8. And what's the Motilal Oswal call on LIC Housing, Karanya?
They've upgraded the counter, which is why it's in focus today's trading session. They've upgraded it to buy, target at 550 rupees. They say that street factoring in sustained spread compression, LIC Housing, they also believe is much better placed than most of its peers within the HFC space. Valuations also are close to decadal lows. In fact, 1.3x of FY20 price to book value is what they've quoted, and they believe it's extremely attractive at this point of time.
All right, that's the take coming in on LIC Housing Finance, an attractive stock and an attractive move in trade today as well, 3% and counting. Moving right on, then you have India Bulls Housing as well, and that stock is in focus today. Apart from Indocent, you have this one that is all set to deliver its numbers, and here's what the ET Now poll is throwing up. We're expecting that the profits could come in higher by 26% at about 1,090 crores. The net income as well is seen quite healthy. 1,799 crore rupees is what the ET Now poll is suggesting. The operating profit could grow about 15% on a year-on-year basis. Provisions, more importantly, could be largely stable sequentially, and asset quality is expected to broadly be fairly stable with strong AUM growth in the range of 29 to 32%. The stock holding out in the green prior to its numbers, clutching onto the 950 mark. Meantime, Siddharth, let's chat a little bit about Granules India. What kind of position are we seeing and what is the volume outlook?
Well, top gainer in futures segment, about to hit that century mark. We have seen decisive breach of that 95-96 resistance zone for Granules 7, and this is happening on back of very strong volume create cash of futures. At the same time, there's 10% rise in open interest. So just like my previous stock, Exide Industries, this stock is also adding a lot of long positions with high volumes in both the segment.
All right, that's a stock to keep on your radar. 7.5%. Moving right on, it's Shriram Transport. Kunal, take us through where exactly you see the stock headed on the downside. Is this opening the doors for a further correction?
So it looks like, Aman, because I think Friday's candlestick pattern was a bit negative, and today the stock has opened, or rather seen a follow through of that negative candlestick pattern, and the overall chart patterns, the way the long-term averages have started to slope downwards. I believe that this trend for lower highs and lower lows would continue for Shriram Transport as well. That could remain a sell. I believe it should retest 960 over the next couple of weeks.
All right, that's the call coming in. The stock could go further, can correct to even levels of 960. Natco Pharma, meantime, this one sure is a buzzer in trade today. Mubina, take us through the news.
Well, a US court has affirmed prior decisions finding in Copaxone, which means that Natco and its partner Mylan have won a litigation against Teva. The company believes that it's going to be a judgment. The judgment is a milestone for Natco. And remember, these were the last remaining patent infringement cases. It removes any penalty or liability overhang for the stock price. It has a cash flow of about $200 million as well. So that's the reason why you're seeing an uptick in the stock price.
All right, that's the view coming in on Natco Pharma, and that stock is on a tear in trade today. Adani Enterprises, meantime, what's the latest with respect to their city gas project, Karanya?
And there's an important update as far as Adani Enterprises is concerned. What we've picking up from reports is the fact that French energy company Total is in talks to buy a chunk of Adani Group's stake in LNG projects in Gujarat as well as in Odisha. This is an under construction LPG import facility, and in its city gas projects. This is, of course, just now very nascent stages. It's just a source-based report, so one has to see what really happens as far as both of the companies and the deal is related. Adani Enterprises, however, is reacting positively to that news.
All right, important developments there coming in, and the stock is currently at 145. But that's all the time we have on this leg of Market Fatafat. So we'll wrap it up. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. We've got markets at noon coming up after a very short breather.